Hey Joe, you ever wish you could just not hear people sometimes?
All the time, Curtis. Especially when my neighbor starts a 6 a.m. lawnmower serenade, or when my roommate decides to host a midnight jam session.
Well, do I have news for you, my friend. Introducing CHS Can't Hear Shit Earbuds 2.0.
The CHS Earbuds 2.0, engineered for maximum silence, scientifically designed so you can't hear shit. Seriously, Curtis, these things block out everything. Your loud neighbor, that barking dog, even your own terrible thoughts.
And with the CHS Earbuds 2.0, you can experience peace like never before. Forget the sound of chewing on the subway. It's gone. Want to pretend that that text you heard from your ex didn't just come through? Whoosh, gone.
These babies come with 3 levels of sound oblivion: mildly annoyed, need a break, and full of zen. Just pick your volume, block out, and let CHS do the rest.
See? Can't hear a thing. Perfect for podcasts. Perfect for everything else.
CHS Earbuds 2.0, because sometimes silence is golden.
Available now where fine sound canceling nonsense is sold. CHS. Block the noise, keep the peace.
And remember, if you can still hear shit, then you've got the wrong earbuds.
I go ham on a bullet beat combined to Il Rio. Call the homies up and make tracks with my people. Cause when we join forces, we know that he is with us. We talk to him and keep a strong witness. So when I say I'ma take you to church, I really take you to church. With every poem that I write, it's much deeper than a...
Curtis, dude, we're here. Season 2.
Season 2, man. See, I can't believe it already.
Dude, what a clusterfuck to get to this exact fucking moment in time. It's unbelievable.
It has been a saga, no doubt.
I had to delete every one of our episodes to get to this point and re-upload them back to Spotify. I mean, you want to talk about a frustrating experience, like, and I'm still dealing with it. You know, so
I get this phone call from Joe one day. Dude, like overnight we got like 1,500 followers.
yeah, we got this absolutely huge following, but it was all because we were using, when we started this, we were using what was called Podcastle because we were just beginners at this. And it was called podcastle.ai. And it got us off to a good start. It got us going, right? And then I got to doing some research and I found, some things with Spotify. And I was like, dude, we should do this. Like we can, live stream our YouTube on YouTube and, put our video chats up. And you were like, yeah, let's do it. So I created this account and it was like, all right, you can transfer your feed over to ours to let us control you. So I transferred it, remember?
Right.
And as I asked Podcastle to transfer us over, they somehow switched us with another podcast. So I'm guessing like it was called like the Wavy Self Podcast that we got switched with. It was some chicks all about self-healing and our shows and her shows got put on our shows. So if the people that were following didn't notice, like you're now following the Wavy Self Podcast, maybe somehow, some way, some form, all about self-help. And so I look down and I'm going, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? Remember, I was like calling them and I was on the phone.
Yeah. You were exhausted of it too because you did
for like
really
an
good
hour,
effort, I will
and
say.
these guys were like, well, this isn't your show. And I'm like, no, it's not my show. And
You even talked to the lady that owned the other show.
she messaged me, yes, and she was like, so somehow our shows got swapped. And I was like, yeah, I know, I've been trying to deal with it. And they won't switch them back. It's unbelievable. They wouldn't switch them back. So I got so exhausted. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to delete them all. Like, I can't do this. I can't. And so here I am, restarting fresh, new, clean slate. And we're back.
We're back.
Season 2, episode 1.
Well, did you have a good summer?
Had a great summer.
Good.
Did.
Me too.
Yeah? You got any highlights to share this summer?
You know, this summer we got 11 camping trips in. We went everywhere from Lake Meredith out on the eastern plains of Colorado all the way up to South Fork up in the southwestern Rocky Mountains of the state. Did plenty of camping. Love it. Felt good.
Yeah, all places we talked about too in season 1. So if you haven't caught it, I freshly uploaded season 1 again to Spotify as I slowly work back out to get them back on Apple and Amazon. And you guys might need some self-help and some self-soothing from the Wavy Self podcast as well. So, you know, I'm giving them some good publicity over there.
Yeah, go check them out.
Yeah, go check them out because they gave us 1,500 followers. Thank you. So, dude, I went on a cruise this summer.
Yeah, I remember. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, it was a lot better than the cruise you had experienced. We'll tell you that. Yeah, we ended up going out of Miami, and first experience, don't know what to expect. And picked Carnival, had no idea. It was what I thought was a good deal. And, you know, everything's new, getting on the ship, trying to go down to the port of Miami and trying to figure out which port I need to be at was ridiculous because there's 2 Carnival ports and I can't find which one's our ship. So I get the Uber over there and I'm doing all these Google searches like, well, which one is our ship? And now I forgot. Our name of the ship was the Carnival Conquest, and they got the Carnival Sunrise and the Carnival Conquest over there. But they don't tell you what port you're in, so I'm like, I'm going to take a gamble. So it was either port C or D or something like that, or D or F. I don't remember. So I chose the first one. Get there. Well, guess what? It wasn't our ship.
Right. No, wrong one.
So I was like, well, it's got to be the next letter, which was about a quarter mile up the street, which I didn't mind. But, you know, my daughter sure minded in the hot Miami heat, which, you know, I thoroughly enjoy. But, you know, I had my mom tagging along, and no offense, but both of them are just bitching their way through the heat at me, calling me every name in the book. Like, well, nobody else wanted to look at Google. You wanted to leave it up to me. Nobody else helped me. So
Right.
get there, get on the ship, get checked in. And I'm like, all right, let's go check out this, the sail away party, right? So we get up there and the ship starts sailing away. And it gets wild on a Carnival ship, man. That thing gets rocking. And I remember us cruising by a Royal Caribbean boat, and they're all yelling from the top of their Lido deck, and they're going, "Where are you going?" And everyone's just all doing their thing, and I'm like, man, it is wall to wall with people here just partying out. But it was cool. And so we were heading out to the Bahamas, and we had 4 nights and 5 days. And we got a balcony, and I took some photos off the balcony in the middle of the night because it was like, I don't remember, it was almost like a full moon. And man, the moon lights up the whole night out there.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's kind of unbelievable, really. And I don't know, it was probably like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm sitting on the back balcony, and they stopped the engines, and I'm like, we're either broke down or we're like just trying to stay on schedule. And because our balcony was off the back of the ship, And I just remember it just being calm as calm can be. What a cool thing, man. Quiet. And the weather's perfect. It's not windy. And the moon just lit up the whole sky, so it looked like it was bright out. You should see the picture I have. And then the next morning, you were actually calling me. I was calling you because it was 5:30 your time. You remember this?
Right.
I was like, because this guy will call me every morning at 5:30, whether I've been out late working or not. He will get up in the morning, and every day at 5:47 a.m., my phone is going to miss a phone call if I'm sleeping in. I'll look over, and it says 5:47.
Ignore a phone call.
Oh, it is an ignore phone call because I look at the phone going, this son of a bitch every morning. And I remember, like, I'm going to call this son of a bitch right now because I already had the sun. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, getting ready to get off the boat. What are you doing? And we arrived at Carnival's private island, and it was Half Moon Cay. It's a cool island, dude. And they got like a little lagoon area where the waves don't even run in, and the water looks like just pool water. And I took my iPhone out there, and I got my daughter swimming, and I got like crystal clear videos of her just swimming under the water. You can see fish swimming. I mean, anything because the water's so clear. It's awesome, dude.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. There's nothing like the Caribbean. I love it.
Have you been?
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to Cancun, Cozumel quite a few times.
Yeah, but the more eastern.
No, never been east. I've been to the south and Florida Keys part of it.
I got a feeling you're getting ready to go.
You know, I do too. I do too. Somebody in this exact episode right here with white headphones on may have talked me and, by God, believe it or not, my wife into going on another cruise.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. And so
I'm in very high anticipation of it, and I'm ready. I'm excited for it. My wife was not real excited about it, but I think it's growing on her now that we bought a special package with our cruise. It's the Key package, so it gets us on the ship like real fast, like. So that was the thing she hated the most, was all the lines.
I'm going to stop you right there for a second because we can talk about that here in a minute. But so after I got done with Half Moon Cay, we went to Nassau, and that's where you and I are getting ready to go back to Nassau, Paradise Island, which you know nothing about yet. But after we left Half Moon Cay, we went to Nassau, Paradise Island, and we took an excursion for a dolphin encounter. And if you ever have this experience, it's called Blue Lagoon Island. What a cool experience, dude. So you get off and you take a boat from Paradise Island, and you take it, I don't know, a couple miles out in the middle of the water. And they have a lagoon in there with the same type water I was telling you about, like pool water, and you can see the fish swimming around. And then they have so many different types of encounters you can have. They have like a dolphin encounter where they come up, they give you a hug, you can touch them, you interact with them. Then they got one where you can go in and swim with them. I think they even have they have a few other different encounters. I think they have some sort of shark encounter. I mean, several things, man. It's really cool.
Too?
I didn't pay for that one.
Okay.
I paid for the dolphin experience, which my daughter got a really cool photo op out of.
Yeah.
That was probably the most memorable part of the trip.
I think we may end up doing that with ours too.
Yeah, and I think we might end up going back there and maybe doing a different one. But that's the totally worth it part of it. And then, you know, talking about like the ship on Carnival, like first ship, good experience, right? Like they got fun things for kids. They got slides, games, toys, Build-A-Bear. I mean, enough to keep the kids interested, right? Enough to keep me interested too, feeling like a kid. So, I mean, the ship was cool. I mean, it's like walking around Little Vegas inside. You got your casino, your bar areas, you know, your party areas. Just there's clubs, bar scene, night scene, you name it. I mean, shows. I mean, whatever you want to do, you can do. And if you want, to me, like, I'm just happy chilling on the Lido deck, sitting there at night looking at the stars in the sky because it's so calm out there.
Exactly.
And so I end up getting back and I'm sending you pictures and I'm making you jealous of the water, of the ship, of everything. And I convinced your ass to convince Tina, your wife, to get this party started.
Convincing. I'm not gonna lie, I had to work on her. Look at where Joe's at. Look at this. Isn't this awesome? Isn't that gorgeous?
And have you, I don't remember, did we tell your experience before on a cruise ship?
I think we may have touched on it a little bit, but
Of why there was some convincing to be done?
We had done a cruise that left from L.A. and went to the Hawaiian Islands, and it was 4 days at sea each way. So you get 4 days at sea, a day at each island, another 4 days at sea, a night at our the last stop was in Mexico, Ensenada, which there's nothing to do there, and then the next morning we're back in Los Angeles. But it was just too much time on the boat. We were probably the youngest people on the boat. It was through Princess Cruise Lines, so there were a ton of older people, and it was very formal. There wasn't really that much to do. It just seemed like they nickeled and dimed the hell out of us. Yeah, totally different from the perspective I got from Joe.
Yep. And so we got to doing our research, and I was like, you know what? Carnival was cool. I'd go on Carnival again if you want to go on Carnival, but I'm looking at Royal. And I said, if we're going to choose one, I said, we either got to go with Carnival or we go with Royal. And I said, it's the thing we got to look for is what does it got for our kids, right? Like, so we both leaned on this boat called Freedom of the Seas because, I mean, it's got stuff for us and it's got stuff for the kids.
Yeah, lots of big water slides, and it's got plenty of places for late night beverages to be had. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I really am looking forward to it.
Yeah. Same, buddy. And so, as you know, we're going back to, well, Royal's got their own private island, and you're telling me every day, you're like, man, every time I call this guy, he's like, I just got done watching YouTube on Freedom of the Seas, watching Coco K videos.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, every vacation I ever go on, I will YouTube the shit out of the place. I know more about the place than the people working there, probably.
Well, let's hear about Perfect Day at Coco K, because I need to hear more, because obviously it's a lot better than Carnival's private island that we went to.
It's a pretty nice place. They have an adults only club, which won't really do us much good, but a huge pool. It's got, excuse me one second. It's got a place for kids. It's got a water park. You have to pay extra for some of it, but most of it's all included. Just a nice place, beautiful white sand beach. I think there's 3 different beaches you can go to. Plenty of seating for everybody. It's just gorgeous. You can rent these private cabana chairs that have TV, and you know, you can rent them for the day. I don't know what it's probably $400 or $500 a day or something, but
you ain't gonna rent them. Don't even lie. You ain't gonna rent them.
No, I am. I'll be in the water the whole time.
You're gonna be sitting your ass in that bar pool over there at Perfect Day
Yeah,
Coco
swim-
K that you were telling me
Go to the
about.
swim up bar.
Mm-hmm.
Swim up bar where people sit in there and drink for hours and know you never
Isn't
see
it the
anybody get
w-
out to go pee.
Did I read it's the world's biggest sit-up swim-up bar?
It is the world's biggest swim up bar. I think I might have told you that.
I think you might have with all the research. But then they got a water park, and they got some different excursions on there too.
They've got a couple. They've got some exclusive bars. I can't remember what they're called, but there's one that's kind of sits up in a crow's nest and overlooks the beach on the island. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you remember the excursions that they had out of there since you research it so much?
They did have some dolphin stuff there, I believe.
Yeah, in the water
Yeah,
park.
but
Can you believe they want how much money they want for that water park per day?
no, it's crazy. I'll swim in the ocean.
I'll swim in the ocean. $150 to spend 5 hours at a water park. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess people do it. They're obviously paying for it.
Yeah, well, you
You
know
can
me.
swim with the pigs there. They got the swim in pig tour.
I do, and I wouldn't mind doing that because I think that just sounds interesting.
Yeah. Now, they do got the Perfect Day at Coco K zip line, which I would pay money to see you go on.
I think I would pay money to see you go on that when I'll
Oh,
sit there and watch.
Well, you want to pay my way? Because I'll gladly do it.
Well, then if you're going to gladly do it, I don't need to pay.
Oh, then you don't need to pay money to watch it then.
Nope, I'll get it for free.
You'll get it for free. Oh, come on. So, no, I'm excited
be
though,
cool.
man.
Yeah, I am too, man. It's just, I'd call this guy late night on a Friday night when he's out on the cruise. He's just walking around drinking.
Yeah, I'd be
Taking
out
it
in the
all
middle
in.
of the ocean and he'd be just calling you outside on the boat.
I'm like, man, I wish I was there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded like so much fun.
Oh yeah, and I was sending you videos. I mean, there's like, late night parties where people were getting down to music in the pool, and it was like a 90s night I think they had one of the nights out there. I mean, we even played bingo one night as one of the shows, and they had do you remember what was that show with Howie Mandel, and they had the suitcase boxes you had to pick, the briefcase boxes. Did you ever watch that back in the day? Like
Sounds
Let's Make a
kinda
not
familiar.
Let's Make a Deal. Let's Make a Deal was that it?
Deal or
with
No
Wayne
Deal?
Brady?
Was it Deal or No Deal?
Deal or No Deal. Yes. Yes. Yep. So they let you play that. They called people up on the stage. I mean, they got just a bunch of cool stuff. They got like little malls inside. I mean, it's I don't know. To me, like, it's going to be the new way to travel, I think, for me. New places to see, and you get to do it basically all inclusively.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and the food and the drinks are going to be amazing. I can just tell.
I know it. I can already tell you about it, and the soft serve ice cream hits at a different level, like never before.
Well, my daughter will like that. She'll
Oh,
probably.
you'll
wear
like
that
it
thing
too.
plumb
Trust
out.
me, you'll like it too. And then I'm gonna throw your ass in the pool in the middle of the night.
Okay. Well, what comes around goes around.
Well, I think I owe you one. There was once a guy that had held a guy down and tried to cut my shorts off and took like 6 men.
Oh my God, you hold a grudge, don't you?
Yeah.
It's only been,
Episode 1, season
20
1.
years ago.
How the friendship started.
Yeah, well, at least
Just
I
a
never tried
review.
to kill you with a lawnmower.
I didn't succeed, so,
No, most people don't. You missed me.
if looks could kill. I got one for you.
So sure.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you. Didn't you? Just like last weekend, didn't you go do some driving for Halloween up there in Denver?
Yeah, it wasn't even Halloween. I didn't drive on Halloween, but that's a good night to drive, but I couldn't drive this year. Yeah, I did. There were a lot of people. I mean, I picked up Batman, Harley Quinn. I mean, I picked up a lot of strange characters. I remember I picked up Batman last weekend, and I rolled up to their house. He had his mask off. And as he was getting in the car, he put his mask on, and I'm like, this is weird. I'm about to get robbed here. And then I think he was waiting for me to say something, but he didn't. But that's where I was going with I got one for you. And it's about 2 weeks ago. I'm in Parker, Colorado, and I pull up to this apartment complex. And pull up to the waiting zone or the waiting area. And it starts the countdown timer, basically. And they got 5 minutes. And so when it hits 2 minutes, it starts charging extra money. So I'm sitting there waiting, and so I send a text, and I'm like, hey, I'm outside. Or I've arrived. And I get nothing. And I get to about the 4 minute mark. And I get a text back, and he goes, I'm on my way, or I'm coming. I was like, okay, cool. Because at the 5 minute mark, I can leave. And about at the 4 minute and 50-second mark, here comes this dude, and I see him coming. And I was like, oh, no. Granted, it's 5:30 in the afternoon, Curtis, 5:30 on a Monday. And he's stumbling up, and I'm like, you can just tell he's long gone. And he's got a can in his hand, and most people don't sit up in front. Like, I bet less than 5% of people sit up front. And if they do, I don't say no. I'm like, it's cool, whatever. But this guy is drunk, and he gets in the front. And I said, what are you drinking? Tea? I said, really? What kind of tea? Twisted tea? And I said, well, that's not coming in here. He's like, why not? I was like, you got an open container. I said, it goes out or you don't ride. So he steps out of the car, chugs this can. Like, literally kills it, dude. Kills it. And then gets in. I'm like, all right, here we go. Accept the ride. And he's all like, so, where are we going? And I'm like, well, we're going to this address. And he's like, well, we can't go there. That's my parents. And I'm like, but that's where we're going. I'm like, I can gladly turn around and take you back. You give me your address. Let's put it back in. Let's go. He's like, no, let's go. Let's go. And I'm like, all right. So we're going on the way, and he's like, man, this girl's mad at me. Wait, sorry, hold on. Man, this girl's mad at me, and I don't even know why. Well, I was like, well, one, you can't even stutter. You talk without stuttering your words. And two, you're so lit up, I can't understand why she would be mad at you. And it's all like, man, I think she's going to leave me. And I was like, sorry about that. And so we're going on, and dude looks at me, and he starts like grabbing my arm, buddy. He's like, dude, you're jacked. And I'm like, dude, take your hand off me. I'm like, I'm driving. He's like, whoa, chill. And I'm like, no, you chill. Like, you got in the front seat. Like, don't touch me. I'm trying to get us from point A to point B. Like, you touch me, we're going to have a problem. And I was calm about it. Mm-hmm. And then he starts going, it's really cold in here. And he's like touching all the instruments on my dash and stuff. And I'm like, stop that. I said, don't touch my stuff. I said, you want heat, I'll give you heat. But stop. And he looks at me and he goes, you don't have to be like that. And I was like, I don't have to be like anything. You're right. I don't have to give you a ride. I don't have to do anything. But I said, don't touch my stuff and don't touch me. That's all I'm asking. And so it gets about like 5-10 minutes, and I'm counting the clock on the GPS going, I got a 45-minute ride, homie. 45 minutes, and I'm counting the clock at this time. And I'm just like, he's gonna crash. And I'm just like, I hope he's just only on alcohol at this point, because he's gonna crash. And you could just tell he was getting to that point where he was gonna pass out. And I was like, it's probably best for me if he does, but it might not be so good either if he passes out and stops breathing or whatever. So he passes out, and I'm like, thank God. And I get from point A to point B, and I pull up, and the house he's going to is dark, which is supposedly his dad's or his mom's or his parents. And I'm yelling at him like, dude, we're here. Dude. And I'm like tapping him, trying to wake him up, tapping him. I'm like, is dude breathing? And he's breathing. And I tried for a couple minutes. And so for the first time, I called the security, and I was like, the phone starts ringing in my car, through the speakers. And all of a sudden he wakes up and he's like, where are we? And the lady from ADT is like, hey, Joe, how are you doing today? How can I help you? And I was like, well, this guy in this car is pretty intoxicated right now, and I can't get him out. And he just starts doing all this junk like, where are we? Yeah, I'm really intoxicated. And she was like, she did really well. Like, she was like, sir, you got to get out of the car right now. You're at your destination. If you don't get out, I got to call the police. And he's like, well, is this charging me to sit here? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Get out then if you're worried about it charging you, And she's like, she's like, Joe, do you need me to call the police? And I was like, you might if he doesn't get out. Yeah. And the dad walks out of the house about this time, and I can't remember his name now. And he's like, I think his name was Jared or something. He's like, come on, Jared. Got to get out of the car. He's charging you money for this. And he's like, you're charging me money for this? I was like, not my call. I don't control it. You pay what you pay for, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, sir, I'm going to give you, this amount of time. If you don't get out, I have to call the police. And dad finally got him out of the car. And so obviously the dude's had a huge problem. But, that was one of the most interesting experiences I've probably had driving so far. And people have horror stories, and that's not a horror story by any means.
No,
but
still, it's amazing what a person will put themselves through. And get completely incoherent, and they don't even know what the hell they're doing.
No.
By midday.
Yeah. 5-6 o'clock. And you're already toasted. So there's something deeper going on in life with him when that is. And that's the sad part, right? But it also affects me on how you act and your behaviors. And so, yeah, obviously I know something's up in your life, but you also can't treat other people like that.
Nope.
So, on that note, we got our cruise coming. We got season 2 started. And great referral by the Wave Yourself podcast for letting us distribute our show on your platform. Thank you for the advertisements. And we'll get with you guys again hopefully next week with the new episode.
Also on the Wave Yourself podcast, sorry for the debacle, and I know it wasn't really our fault, but it still sucks on your end too. So
yeah, it's all Podcastle's fault. I'm gonna throw that out there right now. Podcastle, you fucked up, son.
Marshall
all right,
be pissed about that one.
Marshall gonna be pissed about that one. Till next time, friends.
All right, we stand corrected. Good night, everybody.